Hey guys, we're back at it here on Monday, December 13th. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm going to get into a lesson to go over with you today. So, comparing fractions. Now, we have talked about it, we've done it in class, so this shouldn't be new. That's why I put review there. So, two of the situations that you run into, and it's always good just to think about this and remember this and burn it into your brain, because whenever you run into these two situations, it should be really automatic. You should be able to figure out which one's greater when you see either the same numerator or same denominator. So the rule is, number one, when the denominators are the same, then you go with the bigger numerator. So in the first case, we've got 2/4 and 3/4. So they both have a 4 on the bottom. The denominator is 4. So in this case, we're going to go with the bigger numerator. Between 2 and 3, 3 is greater than 2. So we would put the greater than sign in the direction of 3/4. So 3/4 is greater than 2/4. In number 2, when we have the numerators the same, then we go with the smaller denominator. And this is the one that usually trips up fourth graders, is they always want to go with the bigger, no matter what. No matter what. They want to look at that 8 on the bottom. They want to look at that 8 on the bottom and say, oh, well, 8's more than 7, so of course 6/8. Doesn't work that way. When we talk about denominators, we're actually going to go with the one that has the smaller denominator. And we've talked about why that is. We've said that sevenths are bigger pieces. If you imagine a candy bar cut into 8 pieces versus a candy bar cut into 7 pieces, the one cut into 7 pieces are going to be slightly bigger than the one cut into 8 pieces. And some people said, oh, well, this number is closest to the bottom number. That's a good way to think about it too. So in this case, we're only 1 away from our denominator. In this case, we're 2 away. So this is almost a whole, right? And this is just not quite as close to being a whole as 6/7. But in some cases, we don't have same numerator, same denominator. So what do we do in those cases? We've talked about a few things to do about it, but I'm going to show you what maybe is a different way to think about it. So in my first case, I've got the fractions 2/3 and I'm comparing that to 3/6. So what jumps out at me with these two fractions is that 3 and 6, they look very like they could be really good friends. Basically, I know that 6, I can get to 6 by multiplying 3 times 2, right? 6, we would say, is a multiple of 3. So if I wanted to come up with the same denominators, what I could do is I could just multiply that 3 times the 2 to get to 6 over here. And since I multiplied the bottom number by 2, I also have to multiply the top number by 2. And because this is how we get equivalent fractions. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 2/3 is the same thing as 4/6. Well, if that's true, and now we have the same denominators to compare, well, then we just go to rule number 1. Denominator is the same, then we go with the bigger numerator. So between 3 and 4, 4 is greater than 3. So that's one way to do it. Here's another set of fractions, 2/7 and 4/9. So if I look at my denominators, as in the last one, I don't think I can get to 9 by multiplying 7 by anything. But if I look at my numerators, well, just as in the last one, this number is a multiple of that number. So I can get to 4 by multiplying times 2 over here. So 2 times 2 again is 4. And whatever we do to one, we got to do the same to the other. So 7 times 2 is 14. So now we've created number 2, where we have the same numerator. This time we go with the smaller denominator. So between 14 and 9, which one's smaller? That's going to be 9. So that means 4/9 is greater than 4/14, or the original fraction of 2/7. Well, I hope that made sense to you guys. If you have any questions about finding, we would call those equivalent fractions in order to compare, then you can send me a message any way you know how to do that, whether that's through Dojo, Gmail, through Google Classroom. I'm going to go ahead and post some practice questions below. So go ahead and solve those and send them back to me. All right. Look for a reply to the Math Starter at 2:30. And the way you find that video is by going back into the Math Starter, looking at your answer that should now be graded and returned to you. And below that, I will have a comment with the link to the YouTube video. All right. And I will see you all tomorrow on Zoom at 9:30.